Guys, welcome back with another video for you guys, topless because your boy is sweating like a pig. This is an interesting one I really want to go over, and I want to break it down and make it as simple as possible, which is just how to build an incredible physique, okay? We all want a great physique. There's so much misinformation out there. I'm going to break it down and make it as stupid simple as possible in like a 10 to 15 minute video, and hopefully you guys will learn a thing or two. I like to think I've built a decent physique over the years. I am lean, I have quite a fair bit of muscle. I'm not massive, but I don't want to be massive anymore. I'm very happy with how I look. I've spent years and years and years helping people build their physique, lose body fat. I've built courses on it, I'm a coach, all that good stuff. Let's dive into what we need to do. First things first, okay, I'm gonna break this down into 5 different sections that I've written down here. And I just wanna take a deep dive into each section, okay? First things first, when you look in the mirror, right, remember this video, how to build an incredible physique in the shortest amount of time possible, as healthy as possible, and all that shit. Don't give me the steroid chat, all right? Now, first things first, you need to look in the mirror. Have a look at your physique. What do you see? Okay, have a good, honest look at your physique. Do you have an outline of your abs, okay? Or do you have like a belly? If you have a belly, you have body fat you're unhappy with, and you don't feel great about the look, guys, you need to lose some body fat first before we do anything, okay? Obviously, I'm gonna go into nutrition, programming, training, cardio, steps, and all that stuff. But first things first, if you have too much body fat on your frame, and what's too much body fat? Am I 12% or am I 14%? Doesn't matter. Look in the mirror. If you don't like the way you look and you have too much fat on your body, you need to take yourself into a fat loss phase. To do this, we need to go into a small calorie deficit, okay? Period. If you're overweight, you need to bring yourself into a small calorie deficit. Pull yourself down until you get into a decent position where you can see your abs, and from there you take yourself into a lean gaining phase, okay? There is no building an incredible physique if you are fat and you go into a bulk. What do you think is gonna happen to you if you're unhappy with the way you look, you feel like you've got too much body fat, and then you go into an extended surplus and gain even more body fat? You're going to go from fat to fatter. It doesn't work, okay? The longer you spend in a bulk, the more time you spend putting on body fat, the more time you have to spend in a diet. The more time you spend in a diet, the more time you're gonna lose muscle, okay? First things first, pull fat off. If you look in the mirror and you can say, you know what, I can kind of like see, how can I make this look good? Kind of like see the upper portion of my abs a little bit. You're ready to go. You can go into a lean gaining phase. Or if you're someone that looks in the mirror and you're fucking lean, you can bring yourself into a slightly bigger surplus, but no bigger than 500 calories, okay? So that's the first thing. Rule number 1 is look at your start position, pull fat off, or bring yourself into a surplus, okay? If you are somebody that doesn't like the way they look and they need to pull fat off, this is what you need to do. You need to work out your maintenance calorie. Just pick an online calculator, look at your output, look at your calories, 250 calories lower than your maintenance. That is going to be the start of your deficit, okay? You've created a 250 calorie deficit from food. You're then going to create a slightly bigger deficit by doing cardio, steps, and training. All of this is going to allow you to lose body fat while simultaneously building muscle at the same time, because you are a beginner, and you can do so if you have a few key elements in place, which I'm going to dive into, okay? Once you pull yourself into that fat loss, into that place where you're happy with your abs, you're then going to bring yourself up to maintenance calories, sit there for a few weeks, let your body stabilize, about 4 weeks. From there, we start our initial push into our lean gaining phase, which is a 250 calorie increase from your maintenance calories. You can build a lot of muscle doing this, trust me, and you can stay in the surplus for longer, which means you can build more muscle over time. You're going to gain less fat because you're sensible and you didn't just take your calories up to 4,000 because John does it at Pure Gym in Hackney when he's fat. We're not John from Hackney, okay? We're sensible. Small surplus allows you to stay in a gaining phase for longer. Staying in a gaining phase for longer allows you to build more muscle. Eventually, you'll have to pull some fat off over time, but you would have done so well bringing yourself into a surplus, built so much muscle that you don't have to do a fat loss phase for that long. These big dirty bulks, they put on too much fat. You don't have to spend too long in a deficit, and it doesn't quite work. If you're somebody that's happy with your start position and you can kind of see your abs and you're ready to go, you just skip the fat loss phase. You go straight into phase 2, which is the small surplus of around 250 calories, and we're going to start climbing on the scales. If you're very, very, very skinny and you're tiny and you're completely ripped out of your mind, you can probably get away with a 500 calorie increase at the start, and from there, your jump up would be 250 calories, 250. The person in the middle that's starting with a 250 calorie increase, they're going 250, 250. The person that had to lose body fat, they go to maintenance for 4 weeks, and then they go 250, 250, 250 again. When do you do those 250 calorie increases? When your body stalls. After 2-3 weeks, body weight doesn't go up, cool, we bump up calories, okay? So that's the first thing I want to talk about. In terms of nutrition, we want our protein to be around 1 gram per pound of body weight. We all know this, everyone knows this, I don't need to dive into this too much. You want your fats to be between 20 and 30% of your overall calories. If you love carbohydrates, make it 20%. If you love fats, make it 30%. The rest comes from carbs, simple. In a gaining phase, increase carbs and increase fats. In a fat loss phase, decrease carbs and decrease fats. And stay in the deficit for as long as possible. The longer you're in a deficit, the more fat you lose. The longer you're in a bulk, the more fat and muscle you build. Plain and simple. Programming. Now, remember, the best plan for you guys is the one you can stick to. So if you're running a push-pull legs, is that another caterpillar on me? No. If you're running a push-pull legs, and you can't stick to it, you've got a family, you've got a full-time job, you're skipping sessions because 6 days a week is too extreme, don't do the fucking 6-day plan. Do my plans, which is a 3-day plan or a 4-day plan. You do not need to train all the time. I train 4 days a week. I'm going to bring it down to 3 days a week. And I have all the time in the world to train. I can train twice a day if I want to. I'm bringing my 4-day plan, which is a push-pull legs upper, down to a 3-day plan, which is going to be an upper, lower, upper, or a full body 1, 2, 3. Okay? You only need a 3-day plan or a 4-day plan because the best plan for you is the one that you can stick to. You need to be able to stick on it for years to come, not 12 weeks before your holiday. You need a plan that you can stick to for 12 months. You should look at all of this stuff as what can I do for 12 months, okay? 3-day plan and a 4-day plan, higher chance of staying on the plan. A sustainable plan, you're going to make more progress, obviously. Just like a sustainable fat loss phase, on a sustainable deficit, you're going to make more progress as well, okay? Sustainability and being able to maintain what you're doing is key to make long-term progress. These 8-week cuts where you slash your calories in half and you can't stick to it. These crazy training sessions, training twice a day where you can't stick to it, or doing these like, military camps where you're training twice a day. You can't stick to it. If you can't maintain the plan, you cannot maintain the result every single time with every single person, okay? That is programming. And guys, if you're struggling with your programming, struggling with your food, you don't know how to do cardio, you don't know how to build muscle, you don't know how to reverse diet, you don't know how to maintain a result after you've got it, get my course below. I literally explain everything. And if you want a deep dive and a personalized look at you as an individual, phone calls with me, 24/7 contact with me, apply to my coaching as well, which you can do that through my Instagram or just leave a comment down below. That is programming. Just quickly on that as well, in terms of what you need to train, I've done loads of videos on 3-day plans. I've done videos on 4-day plans. I've even done 5-day plans, but we need to be getting stronger at our compound lifts. If we're trying to build an incredible physique as fast as possible, we want to strip fat off first, get that done. Our gaining phases, we gain minimal fat. We don't want to spend too much time in fat loss phases when the goal is to build muscle. We want to spend time in small surpluses or at least maintenance. So the longer you spend in a fat loss phase, the less muscle you're going to have, okay? So with your programming, compound lifts, getting stronger at the basics, the key to building an incredible, powerful, muscular physique. I hope you think I've got one. I'm good at chin-ups, I'm good at dips, I'm good at squats, I'm good at deadlifts, I'm good at rows, I'm good at heavy presses. Those take up, I'm good at lunging. They take up all of my training. I do side raises, I do curls, I do push downs, I do rear delt flies, I sometimes do pec flies as well. But the bulk of my training is all based around getting strong at those key lifts. I don't obsess over cardio. I don't obsess over CrossFit. I don't obsess over high rocks. The only time I'm doing cardio is to burn calories. It's not to build an incredible physique. It's nothing to do with that. Cardio is an elevated heart rate for a prolonged period of time. In a fat loss phase, you want more cardio. In a gaining phase, you still want your cardio because it can increase your appetite and help you eat more food. It should always be in. If you're in a gaining phase, cardio a few times a week. If you're in a fat loss phase, cardio a few times a week. That eventually becomes more and more and longer until you max out as much as you can fit into your routine and your schedule. I do 30 minutes of cardio every single day. That's a lie. I do 30 minutes of cardio 4 times a week. I do an hour of cardio 3 times a week. Okay, I box 3 times a week, and the other 4 days I'll do like some conditioning or just like low intensity bike work. I do this so that I'm lean, so that when I make these videos for you guys, I'm kind of credible, and what I say, you think this guy knows what he's talking about. If I wanted to build way more muscle and get way bigger, I'd push myself into a surplus and I would decrease the amount of cardio I'm doing. Okay, that's just my specific goals. Cardio and steps are your best way to burn calories, which is going to help you stay lean. But you cannot build muscle other than training. So training is number one. Your split, your program, everything is so important. Your training is more important than your cardio, more important than your steps. Training and nutrition are number one. These guys are up here. Cardio, steps, carbs and fats, fasting, it's all down here, okay? If you want to build an incredible physique in half the time, get good at the basic lifts, hit your protein, stay lean, and progress your training by recovering properly, okay? I'm not going to take a deep dive into like what cardio, what steps. Actually, I'll take a little dive. In a fat loss phase, we want steady state cardio because it's not as fatiguing. It doesn't make you as hungry. It can be used as a tool for appetite, but it doesn't make you as hungry. It's not going to affect training performance, and it's not going to affect NEAT by tiring you out so much. I would avoid high intensity interval training when your goal is to get leaner because it massively spikes hunger. It massively spikes fatigue. You have something called CNS fatigue where you're just fucked afterwards after doing proper sprints on a bike or uphill sprints, assault bike sprints, you're knackered. When you're super tired like that, you end up moving less. So your steps come down. You end up hungry, so you eat more food. Try doing hill sprints on a Monday morning and then go and train legs on a Tuesday morning and tell me that your leg session doesn't suffer. But if you do 30 minutes steady state on a bike, stay within your deficit and do 10,000 steps on a Monday, your leg session doesn't suffer on a Tuesday. We cannot have our cardio affecting our training when the goal is to have muscle and be lean. They have to be separate, okay? And last but not least, guys, you need patience. When you look at my physique here, you're looking at 5 years of terrible training. You're looking at 8 or 9 proper bulks over the years, 8 or 9 proper fat loss phases, years and years trying to maintain deficit. I competed before, so you're looking at steroids for a year and a half. I've done it all. I've done all the right things. I've done all the wrong things. I've made all the mistakes. And that's why I'm here helping you guys, okay? Before I get some steroid abuse, which is so boring, I trained for 15 years naturally as well. So I did build a great physique naturally. I don't have one client on steroids, not one. Everybody is natural. Most of the guys I work with are natural. If you're on gear and you want me to coach you, I'd rather you just went to like one of the juice head coaches. I'm not really interested anymore, okay? Training is key, it's number one. Food is just as high a joint at number one. Cardio steps, we manipulate in fat loss phases and pull down in gaining phases, okay? If you want to build the most amount of muscle possible, guys, you need to get good at the basic lifts. You need to build a good chin up. You need to build a good bench press or incline bench. It doesn't have to be a flat bench. You need to be good at rowing. You need to be good at squatting, deadlifting, lunging, dipping. These are key. Shoulder pressing. Please, please, please don't go to the gym and do flies, tricep push downs, and spend 45 minutes doing arm workouts. 45 minutes training biceps. Look at the size of your bicep. It's done in 10 minutes. Smash it in 3 sets and get out. Anyway, that's my rant. Hope that helps you guys. That was off the cusp. I just wanted to make this video because I'm getting a lot of questions on guys being like, oh, you know, I've been following your plan for 6 weeks and I haven't built like 55 kilos of muscle. It's like, obviously building muscle takes time. This is why I'm a big fan of the 3 or 4 day training plans, because you can actually stick to them for multiple years, because that's how you're really going to make progress at the end of the day. It takes time. See you in the next one.